and welcome to a Bramble update. This is a little video between clips between episode 20 while that's in the oven getting cooked nicely with a nice crispy crust on top there for part 20. Oh, watch out for this dip in the road there. We are en route back to HQ, back to Cortina City HQ, to show you, whoa, little Mondeo taking the bumps in the stride there, to show you Bramble, our second inspection. We've done the first inspection of Bramble earlier on in the video. Scroll through, have a look. If you're not familiar with the channel, scroll back through there, have a little look. You'll see we pulled Bramble out of the bushes, out of the brambles, and we had a little look to see the initial state of play, how it was looking. But that was only a surface examination. We want to do a more detailed look at the car now and see how bad we know it's bad, we know it's rusty, but we want to do a more detailed view of the car. I know straight away it's going to need a roof. That was evident when I got it. But I'd like to peel back the layers, take you on board with me. You can join us as I grab the camera and dive in and out of the car, and we'll just have a little look around and see what's going to be involved when we start to strip the car. The initial plans are to get that car all parcelled up, all the trim parcelled up, take off all the chrome trims, bubble wrap everything up, parcel everything up so it's safe, label it so we know what we've got, then neatly stack it. Because I've found with Ruby and with Swampy, you can soon lose track of all your parts. They get spread all over the workshop. So we're going to try a little neater technique with Bramble and just get everything boxed and labelled and keep it clean as we go along. So in a minute you'll be with me with the car, and we'll get the camera in there and start having a little look around, see how things are going, and we can show you the extent and the horror, what we've got ahead of us for this project. Once that's done and I know the extent of the damage, I can then start building up the part spares. I already have done the little clip of the two-door from Portugal that's going to liberate a lot of spares. I'll show you that in a minute as well. We've already started taking parts off the two-door donor car. So let's have a see. Let's get you there now. I've just been doing the clip for Ruby, so that's why I'm on road, just between two jobs. The clip for Ruby stripped down, ready for powder coating, and then take an afternoon off simply because the weather's good today to work outside and September's rapidly approaching, and we want to make sure that we get any external outside work done before the weather closes and it gets cold. So I want to get that car checked out, know what's up against it, get the two-door cut up, chopped up, and every part we can salvage wrapped and boxed. So let's go and have a see. Here we are. Just some thoughts while I'm potting along in the Mondeo between them jobs. Just some thoughts on the channel for you and on the YouTube. Obviously you notice some of the videos got the copyright notice and you get the advert at the beginning. That's simply because it's picking up the songs on my radio in Swampy or whatever car I'm in at the time. And it's quite difficult work picking out the songs and removing them off the soundtrack. Often you'll lose a good bit of footage that's got the music in the background. So I have to try and draw a line between copyright and actually something worth watching. Music for some of the films I think is essential. Just adds to the film. If it's a sort of road trip movie or if it's a feature film on Ruby or Swampy or whatever I'm doing it on. Other videos like this one's going to have no music, no ads and no fancy bits, just pure footage of the car and the job in hand, which some people prefer. So it's good to have a little mix. So I get a bit for everybody. The feature films with your adverts where you can make an hour of it or an evening of it when it's uploaded. You can watch it on a Friday or Saturday with a brew or whatever, a beer or whatever you're doing, and that makes a nice little experience. Cortina based experience. Other times you might just want the pure technical hit, no frills, and the benefit of that is it's available for everyone on mobile phones as well, so you can watch it at work or wherever in your dinner hour, whatever you want. So that's why there's different types of film on my channel here. Okay, so just makes it easier. And this video I'm about to do, I can actually film and then just straight upload it later on without any editing. So I'll probably do it totally unedited, this video, just clip into clip, just to put your mind at rest as to what's happening with Bramble, because a lot of people are asking what's the position with the yellow two-door GXL. So we're about to show you that. So we'll roll into it now. Guys, I forgot some tools. I've just nipped back to the workshop. Thought give you a little clip of stripping the clip. Strip, trip, clip. So we got up to, where did I get up to yesterday? It was just dropping the spring and the shock absorber out there. Just all these parts for powder coating and the hub for zinc plating, new wheel bearings on. So we're rebuilding all of this part of it. I think a lot of you done Mark 3s will know this off by hand, because it's one of them nice little modular projects you can do. Clips in good order, wishbones are nice with the Mk3 stamp showing clearly on the top of the wishbone, which means surface rust hasn't hit this that bad. They're nice, they're not too pitted. So it's a good quality clip. Even the brake backing discs retaining some original paint, nice and solid. They haven't flaked out or hold through, so they can get powder coated and be salvaged. I've got a new steering rack, so I'm not too worried about that. Track rod ends get replaced, bottom and top ball joints get replaced. Clip itself, good order, no heavy pitting on it. Some original paint still left on the clip, so I'm happy with that. Ruby was in the front end shunt, so I'll be checking the clip's not got any damage associated with the impact, although it could well be that it was replaced anyway. So we'll have a look at that. I took the spring out without a compressor. It can be done. You never underestimate the potential kinetic energy that's in these things. When they're compressed, they can go off like a rocket. I used a tire, what they called, parcel strap. No, not parcel strap. One of those ratchet straps. That's the one. So what I did for it is I took off most of the fittings, tie bar, bottom ball joint. I left the top one on, and loosened up the shock absorber top bolt. Then got the wire ratchet strap and squashed the spring just a little bit, enough so that that bolt was able to be withdrawn. Then a click at a time on the ratchet strap, and the lower wishbone arm starts to come down as you go click on the ratchet strap. There it is, the ratchet strap there, and it just takes the pressure off, and then one last click and ping, you get your spring off. You can't do it on the car that way. You've got to use a spring compressor. There is a tool available from the Mark 3 Owners Club which you can borrow if you join the club, which replaces the shock absorber. Here's the shock. It basically has a threaded shaft with an end like this that you substitute for the shock absorber, then tighten it up and it crushes the spring for you, and then you're able to get the bottom arm on. Once you've got the bottom arm on, you can take the compressor off and then just reinsert the shock absorber. So that's how you would change a spring. You can use spring compressors, but everyone I've spoke to and everything that I've read about finds them difficult to get on the edge of your spring, and also they scratch the paint if you've just had your springs painted or the new springs. So the best tool to use is either build your own threaded bar in the shape of a shock absorber, then you wind it, squashes a spring down, enabling you to get the bottom ball joint in position, then release it. So that's what we did, but that's what we'll be doing when we reassemble. For disassembly, if the clip's off the car, you can do it with a ratchet strap, but make sure it's a good quality webbing, because if it did snap, you and your foot's underneath it, it would smash your feet, because it doesn't half shoot out with some speed. So never underestimate the danger associated with these springs when they're compressed, because when they burst out with some force. So we'll do the same on this side. Take everything to bits, bag up all the bolts so that we can get them zinc passivated, all looking nice and new and shiny. Buy any new parts that we need, which in my case is going to be bottom and top ball joints, springs, track rod ends, and the steering rack itself. I'll be putting a new one on it just so that there's zero play. This one could be a good one, but they're exchange units. You can buy them outright as well. Once all the parts arrive, once all these are powder coated, I'll just reassemble this and put it into stores ready for when Ruby comes out of the paint and the engine, and the clip can go together, and we'll be lowering the car on to the full assembly as we did with Swampy. If you look on some of the Swampy build videos, you'll see that process happening. So just a little diversion while I'm en route back to Bramble. This clip will also be featured on episode 20, so you'll be seeing this clip twice. Right then, so here we are. Here is the Bramble machine. A while since we've investigated. Should we go back to the time capsule? Yes, please. Let's see the extent of the damage. We wanted to preserve it for the NEC shows last year, so we didn't really start taking stuff down or anything like that. And I've just moved it, and it's on its battery, which was charged only a couple of weeks ago, but it still holds its charge. Let's just do the business. Oh yes, please. Oh yes, please. Doesn't want to die. But we got trouble. We got a lot of water ingress, and you're going to see why pretty soon. So Bramble, at the mercy of the elements. We're here on this little in-between video to do a damage report on Bramble, and it's not going to be pretty, and you're going to be saying, let's switch off. You're going to be saying it's not worth doing. You're going to be thinking, what the hell's going on? How are we going to get the parts and all of this? But that's the whole point of the challenge. Take something beyond and bring it back from the grave. That's the whole, makes it exciting. We don't want it too easy. We don't want it too easy, do we? We've got to give you some entertainment. We've got to give you enough footage to turn this back from the grave. So I'll take the camera round. Let's first start with inside. So hold on while I get a better filming position. Let's start with inside. Okay, so there's a sill to a post damage already. So let's start straight away. Sills. I'm not worried about the doors. I've got two new old stock doors, so let's put the doors to one side, even though they're actually not that bad. Crash pad deteriorated and deformed. Got one in stock, no problem. Dashboard itself is intact. They don't normally go. They can rot in places. So without starting to just look down underneath the bulkhead from the inside, we'll do that later. Floor pans taking a hit from the rain. Look at that damp down there. We wonder where what weather's getting in. It's not going to take you long to find out where. Peel back the headlining. It was already knackered, don't worry. It was all cracking. There's your headlining all gone brittle. Hold on while the auto exposure cuts in. So don't worry, we've got to destroy this headlining. It's knackered, but what lays beneath is what worries us first. Interior view mirror shows you that there's trouble, and then this is where it starts. Okay, so that inner bracing piece for the roof skin completely rotted away. Top of the A-pillar there crumbled away. Then going along the edge, I've pulled back the headlining, don't worry. gaping holes, and the whole inner structure of the roof is gone, along that edge at least, until that point. So we're gone there, like Swampy had. I'm going to climb in the back now. Hold on while I pause and climb into the... Let's climb in. Okay, immediately spot that rear quarter trim panel breaking away. We need to get that salvaged quickly. Let's have a look, because they're going to be hard to get. That'll straighten out just. The card itself will be distorted, but that vinyl there can be salvaged off that panel. Don't worry about that one. Okay, let's see what's behind it. The inner structure of the quarter, unique to two doors, starting to go but not gone. And inside I can see the tub there with no gaping holes on the tub itself, reasonably dry. So that area there is not a big deal for me. Going up, now grab handle. I'm just going to try and push behind. I don't want to pull any more down. Well, there's no point not doing it. And now look what we found, look what we see. See that sticker there? 73 BG, T for two door, and then that number there denotes a quarter panel. Now, how do we know something's going on here? Well, 73 BG, this is a 71 car. So, unless it's a time travelling vehicle, you've got yourself an aftermarket, not aftermarket, an after replacement panel on there, which tells us it's had a quarter. And if we look on the join, there's where your original factory spot welds would have been, and they've drilled them or snapped them off. Actually, they look like they've been snapped off, so they've cut the panel, then bent it, which is why this is distorted. To get it off, they've snapped it. And there, otherwise there'd be drill marks. And I can see skim of filler there. So Bramble, in some time in its life, has had a new quarter panel fitted. Not that it's any use now, because even the new quarter panel's totally rotted out. This structure here is what interests me. I need to be retaining these unique pieces, and feeling along the edge I'm dry. Let's take you in. You can come right in. I can't. So can we see what's going on inside there? Okay, so inner structure, which is what I'm looking at. I want to be feeling a good inner structure in as many places as I can. So going over to this side, we can't see behind there yet, but we're going to have to pull back. In we go. I might go back and get the torch. After we've had an ice cream. Okay, roof structure this side, solid. Surprisingly untouched. So look at what a mixed bag you've got there. So could we tin snip off the roof, angle grind off the roof, and pull back? Well, the first inspection would be to just open it up like a tin opener and then get the roof skin off. For the shell repair, I'd be looking at a whole new roof section in parts. So I know what I'm up against there. I've done it on Swampy with the help of Mike. We did it on Swampy with Mike's expertise. You saw the things that he did for us. Okay. So that's where we are with the roof. We'll go outside now without pulling up the carpets. I'm not going to tell the roof plans, but we could reverse this onto the ramps if we want. The interior trim doesn't worry me too much. We know how we can get vinyl replicated in this colour, and we know we can do that with the brick weave, so that's not a big problem. Ruby will show you how that's done. Okay, so interior wise there's the damage, so that's where most of the water's coming in. That's the big damage area, although you can see daylight through here. Look, so what's happened, the vinyl roof has rotted the metal, and then it started to break the car down. That's how they go when they've got vinyl roofs. That's what happens with vinyl roofs. So outside we go. There's that hole. Going along here, that quarter hasn't let anything get through it. It'd come off anyway. There's the rest of the sill there. Gone. The doors, surprisingly, I mean, they know they close. petrol filler cap, not a big deal. There's our original silver fox coloured paint. Hole straight through the quarter, rendering it useless. Boot, let's go in. So, say no more about the boot. Quarter, new quarter, gone. You can tell it's a new quarter as well, the way that they've fitted that. No silver paint on that. Grey primer, no silver paint. This area interests me. It's a difficult one when you lose that part of your rear parcel shelf. You're looking for big gaping holes in there. Not seeing anything major there. That's where we're going to be joining. Let's have a look at this side. Always difficult when this section goes. It hasn't gone. Look, you normally have a big hole there. See? Difficult one, so that's a plus for us. Looking inside, let's have a look at the condition of the actual parcel shelf and see if there's been any ingress. There's the silver fox again. Wheel tub, look, I mean, you know, not ridiculous. And look at that jack, there's an interesting one for you fans and you train spotters out there. Look at the jack. Date code on it, 1271, never seen that before. So, Concours guys, watch out. There you go, for your jack. You've got a date stamp. Or paint stamp. Well, easily replicated with some stencils. We'll be making a note of that for sure. 1271 on the early type series 1 jack. Boot floor, goodbye. No way. I'm not even interested in looking at the boot floor because it's just coming out no matter what happens. Alright, some spares in there, some wishbone spares. Second boot tub, wheel tub. Okay, not gaping. Hasn't even got through that stage. Surprisingly, considering the condition of the car. And that's one of the saving graces. Here's that knackered quarter. So up here you'll probably see skimmer, filler skimmed, and there it is, look. So that's where they've put the new quarter on. And interestingly, I'll see how they've actually fitted the quarter, see what kind of job they did where the quarter meets on this side. And straight away I see that there's no factory seam where you get the edge of the quarter, then a lip where it's spot welded. They've filled that, so they've run filler in that lip. No edge, see? So that's that. This sill of course is gone. Inner sills I don't know about yet. We're going to reverse the car onto some ramps in a second and we're going to go underneath. Now we've got just one flat tyre, so I'll get the tyre inflator out, then we'll put some ramps at the back and I'll reverse up, and then we can go underneath with the camera and have a little scoot about. Even this door's not that bad. That doesn't close now because the door rubber's off. You've been with me under the engine bay before. Let's go in again. Well, this is what surprises everybody with this car is, look, where you normally get that gaping hole. You see when there's normally a massive rot hole there on a car that's this bad, and normally them hinge brackets detach and just crumble away. And you'll see that that one hasn't. So normally, you know, I've lifted bonnets up and just pulled this off. This side, okay, so it's beginning to go at the top. But look at the bottom where it hasn't detached, it's still intact there, and the inner wings. Normally, when you see this level of rot, then you expect those inner wings to be gone. And they haven't even gone up till that front point where they normally do. I bet they'll be peppered with holes though. So that's how it's managing to hold together in one piece. I'd like to take the heater box out and just see for sure behind that bulkhead. So really the cosmetic side doesn't interest me. We'll take off all these parts, everything, and store it all properly away. All the letters and everything will be stored nicely. Let's look at the chrome. They're hard to get, those chrome strips, and that one will come up nicely with a nice new treatment on it. some more bright work on it. So that's where I'm at initially. So if I'd be looking at this in stages, I'd be talking about getting the roof changed. Well, let's have a look at how we do that. Over here, you remember that I've got this car for a donor. This is a Portuguese left-hand drive 2-door that's been in an accident. We know it's been in an accident because the quarter was virtually held on with blobs of braze. I wobbled the quarter and broke most of it off. The whole quarter came away pretty easily. The hardest part was just unpicking down that line there. So this has had one quarter already removed to be used, and it's a good new old stock quarter on this one. So there's a nice panel. I've had a brand new old stock wing off this, both doors off this, new old stock bonnet came with it. And this quarter's also been replaced. Look, you can see that they've welded that, then skimmed it. And here where I've picked away, you can see where they've brazed it. This car's worse than Bramble, look, and this is from Portugal, full of filler, newspaper in there. That was gone. Boot floor on this one's gone, so we don't salvage a boot floor out of it. This had a side impact, pretty heavy, enough to crush the dash and bend the dash and crush it, and enough to ripple all the A-pillar there, look, and then ripple all of this, and it's all got bodgy filler, and it's all rippled on the floor pans, rippled even up to there, look, rippled on that cross member, and they've welded it, and then just black bitumen and fibre fill. So a mess this car was. I was hoping it'd be a better shell, that I'd contemplated swapping across, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be taking all the bits off this, including salvaging some good parts from here if needed. Look at that cross member still intact. That'll dip up alright and repair. So there's another panel saved if we need that, which we will do. So good parts to be harnessed off this, salvaged off this, harvested off this. So the 2-door roof, a new roof skin by the looks of things. Inside, cross member not attached to the roof, normally glued, showing me that they put a roof skin on. I can see marks around where they fitted the roof skin. So again, more panels that can be salvaged. There's those inner cross member pieces that we just looked at on Bramble, which we can use. If we can unpick successfully everything off this, we'll start to stockpile the parts off this car. So that's the plan. Salvage as much off this as we can and get Bramble stripped down to the level that Swampy was, virtually down to a floor pan. You can see how quickly the car sort of dematerializes when you just take something off like a quarter. It just doesn't look like a car anymore. For something as simple as a quarter panel removal, all of a sudden the car starts to look really bad. And remember, this is what happened to Swampy. So if we salvage a lot of this stuff here, we can do what we did. We can sit the frame onto the tubs, but we'll cross those bridges when we get there. I'm just letting you know a rough outline of what I'm planning and how things are sort of beginning to take the first steps forward for this car, whilst Ruby's ready to be reassembled very soon. My mind can switch to this a little bit, not too much, because I've got to keep concentrated on things. Let's go underneath, let's put some ramps at the back, and I'll reverse up. Okay, ramps underneath, so I've got a bit more air going into there, running off Ruby's Bramble's own battery. And then we'll go underneath, check out the state of the floor pan. That's what it's all about. Have a quick look at this. Yeah. Look at the way these tubs have been all botched up. But I don't know, some parts on there. Right, let's get it up there. Let's have a We'll get a board down and we'll go underneath. Okay, up on the ramps, let's go and have a look. A nice comfy mat there for us to go on. Let's go and have a see. Okay, I'm underneath and you're upside down. Let me turn you. So, we're going to need a chassis rail because I can see that's pickled. I've seen worse chassis rails than that one. And there's that normal rock place there, just up to the end of the sill. Still in one piece chassis rail that side, but probably be pickled. There's a hole at the end of it there, see. Floor pans themselves, well, no paint or underseal to protect them. Average to poor, I guess. Starting to go on the swinging arm on that chassis fork. Boot floors are no brainer, it's coming out. The rest of the chassis fork, well, we've got stuff to go on. It's going to need a lot of floor pan repairs and a lot of floor pan work. You can get floor pans now. So whatever happens, it's going to be a big job. It's going to be a total strip down to virtually everything, virtually rebuilding again. A long project I'd have thought, just to get this floor pan right. You can get the floor pan up until where it joins the boot floor, and I think you can now even get the boot floor. Would you believe, off the Turkey cars? So, as expected, I guess, it's just that there's nothing protecting it under here. It's just been attacking it. But the way the car stays in one piece, there's got to be some strength. So that's it. That's where we're at underneath. Let's fix the underrider for you. Let's go to the front now. film this as best I can. What's good about it is it's all intact with all the original fixtures and fittings that would come with this car, with not many botches or modifications. They're all pretty good standard setup, which gives you a great benchmark to go off. All the trinkets, all the bits that you need are here with it. It's just that it needs a big body shell job. So we've got to really rebuild a whole new body shell for it, using as many panels as we can off this shell. Strip this right back down to the floor pan, with the exception of maybe the bulkhead. We're going to go and try and have a look at the bulkhead now by pulling the carpet down just behind the glove box there. Let's go and have a look at that bulkhead, because that's a make or break situation. Let's go and just see how original everything is. The original carpet trim retaining bung, just showing how untouched it was. So now, as it was, now let's get this carpet back. Okay, so we're going to see the sound deadening pad first. Which I'm not going to be able to pull out, but I should be able to look. No, there's another, obviously the other sound deadening pad under there. Okay, I might have to pull that out to have a proper look. There's the first view of the top side of the floor pan. Okay, I've seen them with just big holes there, so advanced rust has not got up to that point yet. We want to be looking up here now. Let's have a... Okay, bulkhead dry-ish, or dry there, with surface rust on it. Not holed yet, but about to go in some places. I'll just show you where. The usual places. Let's see if the camera will go. Let me just twist the camera. It's going to go a bit funny on screen for you now. This is unedited film. Hang on, light in front of the camera. Difficult for me. Ah, here we go, stabilising a bit now. You see that very lower piece where they always rot through. So about, well, slightly better than I expected. It's possible we could salvage the bulkhead out of this. It's possible. It's not out of the question. The car needs a full strip down for further investigation now. It could well be that when you start pulling it, that's really crumbly. I don't know. The rest of it isn't in the engine bay, and it isn't up to that point. We need to carry on investigating further, but initially, you know, going on its way to be a complete mess on its way. But we could just catch this in time. Just, it's possible we could catch this just in time if we completely take the car to pieces, then dip the shell. Now, I know that's a gamble. We dip the shell, you're going to come out left with not a lot, but from that you build the shell back up. And that's how we did it with Swampy, so that you can argue that you've not reshelled, you've kept the same shell, it's just a hell of a lot of it gets replaced. And that's the procedure. We've got to get everything out, everything boxed up, totally bare shell it. It won't be a pretty sight, I can tell you that much. It's going to be ugly. Alright, it's going to be ugly. But that's what makes it interesting. This is what I'm trying to explain. We've got all the trinkets, you know. We can get quite a lot of the shell parts. It's just a lot of time, and it's back to the millstone, back to the grinding, back to the welding. But I do enjoy that, I've got to say. I do enjoy building and welding it up the shell. So we'll treat it a section at a time. We'll do what we did, a section at a time. And okay, people looking out, the casual viewers, people who don't really know me, stuff like that. Oh, what you're doing, and you'll never do it, and all this kind of stuff. It's got to be done. It's such a rare car that it's got to be done. And you're looking at really completely rebuilding the body shell of this car, which is what we'll do. So that's an update on the situation as it stands, and to let you know, we share all the parts from this as much as we can for the Portuguese shell. Even though this is a rock box as well, we'll still get bits off it. So I'm going to start doing a few little bits of spot weld drilling. In the meantime, look out for part 20. Hope there's a little diversion for you on this one. Sorry, it's nothing fantastic, but there we have it. Bramble, still running, still in one piece. It's going to be a shame to take it apart. You know, it's almost got a character of its own, like this, as a showpiece, as a museum showpiece. You know, our car can degrade, but it's worth much more than that. It's worth doing. It's such a rare combo. I can imagine cruising with the auto. I love auto boxes. Just imagine this being back on the road as good as new again. The reward that'll give you, whilst it's a lot of money and a lot of time, it's a hobby which you enjoy doing. To recreate a shell is such a rewarding thing. Knowing you've got to do the chassis forks, you've got to do the chassis, you've got to do all the floor pan edges, the inner sills, repair that bulkhead, you know, all the things we're going to have to do. But it's a hobby. It's better than television, because television's garbage. Well, over and out for now on this little clip. Something for you. Hope you enjoyed. As usual, some comments up there now, and see what you think. Look out for part 20. Just before we go, starting to salvage the panels now from this. So we're saving as many bits as we can that's associated with two-door. So this panel's needed. We've got a cut on the roof. We've got the quarter coming off around here. It was badly put on, if you can see. But we took that. We've had to slice there because they migged it. I've gone on the join line and popped the welds along there. So we're just slowly extracting the quarter. We'll see you soon. I'll keep on going. Next time you see us, this will all be stripped down. But we're doing good. We're salvaging everything we can. That roof's going to come off nicely. Quickly before I go, looking at this area here, it hasn't rotted. Look, this gutter channel, it normally rots. It's totally intact. Look, that's a big breakthrough. Look how clean that is. Would you believe that's normally just crumbles away? So because that's solid there, right, it's not gone. Because of that, look here, oh, this one's gone. But because of that, what we can do, if I take the roof line off here, now your roof's nearly coming off. I've got to separate on the B pillar there. We chop, cut and shut on the front, the whole roof's off. So just take this off and we just sit the roof straight back on, land on the B post there, cut and shut at the front. Do that first before we strip the car. Just get the roof back on it so it's a solid base. Then we can treat it as a resto further down. Obviously the quarters will be off when I do the roof. They've got to come off anyway. So we'd actually be able to get the roof on as a separate, complete separate job to the resto. You could even leave it on the frame. This could be done now as just a separate job. A whole roof can drop on, leave the wheel tubs and everything in line, get the roof on, then we can just do the roof swap as a separate, totally separate job. So look, get this, straighten all this out, and we'll offer that up. Take this panel off there because we don't need that piece. We need that gutter run. We'll have to straighten that back out, clean all this up and rust kill it. Check the rest of the roof. Obviously I've got to fix the one side of this roof's got a bit of a broken, well, it's where it's been crashed, and I've just roughly messed it up a bit, but it's not too bad. So obviously took a really serious hit. This is a new roof skin going on to old. Okay, sorry about that, clip just ended, my battery's flat, so I'm going on the internet now to upload the film. We'll see you in part 20, okay? Bye.